Hurry up. Messages in Japanese. Thank you. Just in time here. Just got this stream up and running in time. A bit of a chaotic morning here today. It's not good evening, it's good morning. Okay, as you can see, third floor, streaming today. This is the paper that is going to be used for a new batch of, the print is going to be the Matsushima print from the Doi Hunger Company, the blocks, Doi Hunger blocks. It's going to be printed for us by Yamamoto-san, the young boy who's been doing all of our great wave printing and our Shin Hunger printing. He just finished a batch of the waves, and now he needs new work, and he's going to get this one. Okay. What we're doing today is a batch. Yes, talking about the IRC clients. I get it, and we've tried different ones of those. I haven't found a good one that I can run on my Mac. I'm on a Mac here, OS 10. And the only one I found that works on this computer uses the Java runtime, which I really don't want to use on my computer here. So we have explored this. If somebody's got the idea for an IRC client that doesn't reuse resources on this machine while the stream is running, then yes, I'd like to try it. Okay, we've got a mix of stuff today. I know the first batch of paper is going to be for those Matsushima prints. We're going to print them here. They're going to be printed on this paper 2 up. We're not going to print them at the same time, but the paper will be used for two prints here. We're going to get 1, 2 out of each strip of paper. Then when I finish this, I'm going to get some more leftover paper. Over the past year or so, we've been making larger prints and trimming and having leftover sheets of paper. Sometimes Cameron puts them up on the website or something like this. We've been saving them because we're getting ready for our New Year's print, our New Year's card. We're going to need a ton of small paper for it. So I'll be doing a bunch of these offcuts today as well. But first things first, the main job here. Okay, got to get my size ready. Who will be carving the New Year's card? It's me, I guess. I can't see anybody else. They're all busy. Young Chon-san's working on the Sushi Cat's color blocks. Kawasaki-san's working on 2 Souls Entwined. Yumi-san is working on a new owl print. Was I supposed to talk about that? The New Year's card is going to be up to me. Soup day, soup day. I should have got this warmed up here. Okay, brush takes a minute to get warm. The owl thing, it's not a secret actually. Yumi-san, she's not really part of our staff. She's a carver here. Her family has been making woodblock prints in Tokyo for many, many years. She's not one of our regular employees, but she's done a couple of jobs for us. She did the carving on the Dragon Ball design for Ukiyo-e Heroes a couple of years back for us. She came to me a few months ago. She had a window of opportunity. She had some time to do some job, but she couldn't be able to do it on time. In other words, she wanted work, but she wanted work that she could fit into her spare time over the coming months when she had time for it. So she asked me, do you have a job that's got no time limit, that's got no deadline or something? So we thought about it, and just at the moment, we had some prints in our shop. There's a Hiroshige design. Somebody can find it for me here. A Hiroshige design. It's a tanzaku, a tall, thin print, and it's a picture of an owl on a branch with a crescent moon in the background. It's not really related to the one that we made last year. And we had a bunch of them in our shop from auctions, and they sold really, really well. So I told them, yeah, go ahead, let's make that one. So if somebody Googles this, or over at ukiyo-e.org, it's a Hiroshige design, tanzaku vertical format, an owl on a branch with a crescent moon in the background. She's carving that for us on a long term, just get it finished somewhere down the line when you get it done. So that's a small owl project that'll be up here and running one day. No idea when. Yes, Jacques, good morning. Thanks. Birthday message. Yes, I've added another year. I'm 67 now, so. My mother won't be in the stream this morning. She just phoned me, Skype me. She's in Vancouver with my daughters at a Christmas craft show. My daughters run craft stuff as a side business. And they're over at the Circle Craft show. They just Skype me from the show floor. This is so much fun. You know, I'm sitting in Tokyo ready to do my stream, and my daughters and my mother phone me together from the show floor of someplace they are in Vancouver. Mr. Howlett, take it easy, okay? 67. Who could have imagined being 67? Message for Jacques here too. I know Jacques-san, Serge was here last night. He was in the shop yesterday afternoon for a while hanging out, and we went for dinner together. Nice chat with him. I know, for those of you who don't know, Jacques is here in the stream. He's one of the members of what we call the European, I forget, the European Mokuhankan Summit or something. Jacques has been a long-time collector, and another friend in France, Serge, has been a long-time collector, and they occasionally get together at Jacques' place in Leiden. So friend Serge was here last night for dinner. Jacques was here last year in the spring. Not sure when he's coming again. We'll see. Isn't somebody going to remind me to take the paper out of the freezer? Because I actually forgot this morning, just before the stream started. Ishikawa-san, who's coming today, she sent me an email. Please remember to take my paper out of the freezer. And I had forgotten. And her paper today, it's a real fat deck. Look at this. It's like 10 centimeters thick. And if I had forgotten to take this out, it would take 2 hours to defrost. She'd have been up my... What she's printing, she's doing the last, that's a test version there, can you see it? She's doing the last loot print, the last subscription print for this year. This is December's print. We should do a caption contest. In fact, there we go, let's do that. This is the 12th print in the year. You got it? The guy on the balcony looking into the distance. Is he an arch enemy or something? Who knows what he is? It's up to you. Let's do a caption contest. Somebody screenshot this or something? It's not a spoiler, who cares? It's the next print for next month. It'll be published, it'll be sent away in 2 weeks, and she's still printing it. That's how far behind we are. This owl, somebody sends me a link here. Copy link address. Let's see if I can get this. Yes, that's the one. The link in the chat here. That's the print. And Yumi-san's carving it, and it'll be months before we're ready. Don't even ask me about it. It's just a job she's going to do. Okay, let's get to work. Go. Autumn of 2019. Joe, you're here for the Rugby World Cup. Is that the idea, Jacques? It didn't sound like your thing, because it's going to be crowded here for that that event. We're getting party bookings already for October of 2019. We've got a whole bunch of party bookings. Is John here? On the road, John Becker. On the road from Nagoya. Ken, you're a bit late to the party with that. John is in. Matsumoto, did you get any fall colors, or is it all finished up there by now? I hear it's pretty late. I think they're all finished, right? Tons of fall colors, good. Picks, or it didn't happen. Is that the first entry in the caption contest? Trying to find funds for the next print. They're out there somewhere. Oh, a bit too much at the start there. Day trip to Narai today. I think you mean Nara, do you? I don't know Narai. I'm sorry, I don't recognize the place. Narai. Just checking if Dave took the paper out of the freezer. Yeah. The Mokohankan caption contest. We should organize this. I should get Cameron to do that. Put some of these online. Win a free print. Actually, I shouldn't give expectations. I don't remember the real caption. I don't have it in front of me, so I can't solve the... Maybe if Jed's in the stream, he can remind me what it is. I don't know. No, okay, I don't know the place, John. Sorry, don't recognize this reference. The amount of travel I do now is my world is shrinking and shrinking. Last time I was in Matsumoto would have been, I don't even remember, 30 odd years ago or something. I don't know. Every day we have people in the shop telling me about the places they've been and what they've been doing and all over Japan, and I just sit there listening. Sounds like fun. Sounds like fun. Will I ever get to those places again? Who knows? I'm dripping too much here. Speaking of Matsumoto Castle, I know Jed has an idea for one of the prints in the upcoming series. Was it Matsumoto Castle or was it Osaka Castle? I can't remember. He's got a sketch of one of the castles in a way that you've never seen it before. And literally in a way that you have literally never seen it before. And I'm not 100% confident we can pull it off as a woodblock print, but he's given me a few rough sketches and I'm like, ooh, can we do that? And he's pretty sure he can pull it off image-wise. I'm getting drips. What's going on here? Somewhere is dripping. Whoops, another one. This brush is dripping today. Why? Better. Don't panic about the laptop. I've got a cover on the keyboard part. That last drip just went right in the middle of the trackpad. It's okay. All you European guys who are up so late, eh? No, the map, I'm sorry about the map. I haven't got it up and running. I know the original map that we had was some sort of, I didn't set it up, but one of the Twitch viewers set it up. It was a use free for 30 days or something kind of map. I don't know the details. Cameron would know about it. And the time ran out, and it turned out to be, they wanted like a couple $100 per month to run it. I thought, well, I wouldn't mind having a map for this, but the fee that was required was my God, it seems silly to pay that much for it. So Cameron and I sat down for a few minutes one day a couple of weeks ago and tried to figure out how we can get a new map up and running. And then autumn hit, and we just didn't, we just got snowed under. So I would happily sponsor a map. I'm not asking anybody else to pay for it. We would do it. But the fee, Cameron showed me the fee, and it seemed just way too much for this. So if somebody has a link or something, or could spend a bit of time trying to find a better option, we would happily, pay for it. If it was something that seemed reasonable, Oh, is that it? Google's asking more money for it. Soka, is that where it came? Okay, just so you know what's going on, the paper being prepared here will be for the Matsushima print. This is one of the old prints from the Doi Hunger blocks. Blocks are Showa 11. That's 15 years before I was born, so 51, 36. 1936, the original print was made. We have the original box set here, and we're going to be making a new batch. And the paper is going to come out like this. 1, 2. John, there was lots of happy birthday messages. Don't worry about it. We got it. Excuse me. wonder why my tractor bread is behaving funny. I wonder why. Actually, it's not sticky, it's just stopped working. Maybe the heat from that stuff, I don't know. How many prints will be in the upcoming subscription series? Well, 12. We're going to do it as a monthly series. Maybe when I was chatting about it a few weeks ago, I was thinking we might not be able to do them one each month because they're so complex, maybe one every 2 months. But we're going to give it a go. We're going to try for once a month. What do you mean poor fridge in the background? And when I was Skyping with my mother just before the stream came online, she said, "Where's fridge? Where's fridge?" I showed her. She's happy. She's been on at me a bit recently because I hadn't been really careful to make sure that fridge is in every stream. He's been sleeping upstairs here. So when I do the carving streams downstairs, he's whatever, lonely. My mother thought I should be more careful to take him downstairs more often. Okay, there's the top side down. Now we gotta flip it and do the back side. Yo-so. Okay, backside coming up. Yes, the sizing that's happening right now is the paper that will be used over the next couple of weeks to do a version of the next group of the Matsushima print. It'll be printed for us by Yamamoto-san, young Yamamoto-san. He did the new Hasui print that you saw in the catalog just a few days ago, last week. I have no show and tell up here right now. I'm sorry, this is actually, a working stream here this morning. I have no specific show and tell, I'm sorry. Is that something that sort of became the feeling it should be here every day? I don't know. I hadn't thought so, but I could do. I guess I didn't really think about it that much. There's lots and lots and lots of stuff here. My own print collection, the things that we are mostly using for show and tell, my own prints are mostly over in Ome, in my home. And at some point in this next few months, we'll be bringing my prints back to the shop here and setting up some kind of rotating display of them. Yeah, we do. There's another album that we got. I could run downstairs and get it, I guess. I don't know. Let's see how the work goes first. Let me just get the work here. Yeah, I had the thing that I was going to show yesterday that didn't really have time for. It's a small album, two small albums that we got recently. And what they are, they're albums, they were publisher samples. There was a publisher who was making fans. Fans used to be a real big deal in Japan, you know, in the days before air conditioning. The summer's really, really hot. And everybody would carry, of course, you know, little fans. And fans are a couple of types. Fans are, you know, the Sensa type that opens up. And then there's another common fan, just a round type that people would sit there. And every shop all the way down every street just gave them out to people. It was just sort of a free, they'd put a little advertising thing on and then they would just pass out fans. Some shops still do, you still see them. You know, a plastic fan with an advertising thing stuck on the front of it. They're very, very common. But they were much, much more common in the days before air conditioning. And there were many, many, many companies producing those things. And the auction item I got the other day was a sample that the publishers would have to show, here's the different images that are available for this year's collection of fans. And the company, the local grocery or whatever, he was going to order a few hundred of these and they would have them printed with his grocery name or whatever. So what we've got is a sample book that the shop would choose from. Yeah, I'd like number 17, print me up 200 copies, and away we go from there, that kind of a thing. So it's a sample book, and I'm not quite sure when it's from. It's not dated. It's somewhere on the turn of the century, you know, the previous century, 19th to 20th, so somewhere around 1900. And it's great stuff. You know, woodblock prints that if we were starting to carve and print now, there might be 10 blocks printed in a small area. And if we were starting to carve and print that now, the resulting print would have to sell for, I don't know, $50, $60, $70 or something. And these were fans. They were junk fans that were going to be just tossed aside. And the sample books has a couple of hundred of these images in them. Yes, Jacques, I always remember that, of course, because back when I was younger, my birthday, it wasn't a school holiday, but it was a special day at school. And always the entire school would assemble somewhere, the school gymnasium or whatever, at a few minutes to 11. The teacher would give a little speech, whatever, and at 11 o'clock, it was, you know, a minute of silence or whatever on my birthday every year. This year it's 100 years. And when I was a kid in school, that wasn't such a distant thing, you know. We can laugh about this. I'm 67 today. And that war's been over for 100 years. But when I was a school kid, it was like 45 years ago and stuff like this. You know. It was a much more recent event. Much more recent. It's basically, for me back then, it was like the Vietnam War is now. How long's the Vietnam War been over? It's been over what? 70s, 80s, 90s, teens. It's been over what, 40 years or so. So for me, when I was a kid in school, the first war had been over about the same length of time. So for my generation, the Great War, the First War, is like the Vietnam War is to the current generation. And to see it's now 100 years, I can't quite get my head around that. You know? Too bad my mother's not here today. She'd slap you all down. Actually, I should mention, I'm not really actually quite sure what my birthday is. Of course, whatever, November 11th is the date on my birth certificate, stuff like that. But if you go back today, about 30 years ago, 35 years ago, when my first daughter was born, Himi-chan was born in 1985, and we were living in Canada. And my parents at that time were in England, and my wife's parents were in Japan. So we wanted to take the kid to show both parents. So we did. We left Vancouver and we headed west on a round the world ticket. We crossed the date line, came to Japan, showed the kid to the grandparents, spent some time, traveled 3 months. We went round to England, to Europe, and came back to Canada. And normally on a trip, when I'm going back to Canada, I cross the date line that way, cross the date line coming home, we're good to go. When I lived in Vancouver, we traveled to Japan and go back to Canada, we're okay. But this time we went round, all the way around, and didn't cross the date line going back. So I think I moved back, no, I moved ahead in time one day. Because when we were in, we left Vancouver, whatever day it was, June the 1st, and we landed in Tokyo June the 2nd. So I'm not sure what day my birthday is. I've gained a day on the planet, I think. I'm not quite sure. Am I a day older than I should be or a day younger than I should be? I don't quite know how to calculate it. Normally, when we're traveling, we go across the line and back, so it all averages out. But when you just cross it one way and keep going, this is going well today. I had a few drips there back at the beginning, but it's under control now. Ah, says he. Yes, my secret is out. This building is so much bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. all this talk of the TARDIS, you know, getting a bit close to home. Perhaps a good thing my mother's not here on the stream this morning. Because when you're talking about the TARDIS, she might have something to say about that. Well, she knows something about me that many of you don't know. She is my mother, of course. When I was born, and being christened, they gave me two names. We've talked about this before, I think. No. Our family name is Bull. You know this. My first name is David. I am D. Bull. She gave me another name, and my middle name is Roy, which makes me a doctor.
120 people, no.
I'm working. What's your excuse? I can understand. It might be a bit interesting to see what's going on, put glue on paper, but a bunch of you guys have seen this 50 times before. You're watching me put glue on paper for the 5,000th time, you know. We're getting to the tough part now, you know. This stack is wet, 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 wet. The front of the paper is wet. When we do the front side, I push the brush down and the paper can move in advance of the brush so it stretches out. But now that we're doing the back side, the front is damp and they're sticking to each other a little bit. So when I'm doing the back side, as I move the brush down, 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 if I put too much pressure in it, the paper, you know, creases. That's why you see me keep checking here, looking for creases that are developing inside. We found one a while ago. Remember, I don't know if you saw what I did. I picked it up and spread out, pushed out the crease. It's really dangerous at this point. Too much. Yeah, what do we got here? There's 3 sheets left. How should we do this then? It's nearly 9 o'clock here. So I can't hang this for at least 15 or 20 minutes. So what we should do, I guess it would have been a good time for the show and tell. Maybe what we'll do then, after I finish these 3 sheets, should I head downstairs? If you give me a break for a minute, I'll head downstairs and grab that album, the one I was telling you about. It'll take me like 3 or 4 minutes. I have to run downstairs and run back up. I can't hang this paper yet anyway. It's got to wait for at least 15, 20 minutes. So should I do that? Looking good, looking good.
Okay, so this has got to sit. It's a warm day today. It can sit for a while. It's got to sit for 15-20 minutes for the water to spread around before I hang it up. So let's do that. Let's cover it up for a minute so it doesn't dry out too much. It's only 9 o'clock. Let me slip downstairs. I'll go get that book. We'll spend 10 or 15 minutes having a look at it. Can you sit by yourself for a few minutes? See you soon. Back in 5, 4. Okay. Still here, still up, still running. 99 balls. Hey. Oops. Okay, let's move the camera. Earthquake coming. Oh, we have a short cable today. Okay, let's make this work. How are we gonna do this? Okay. Did I ever get an earthquake on stream? Not that I can remember. Have we had that? I've had an earthquake while I've been videoing stuff. The giant massive earthquake back in, when was it? 2011? Was it 2011? I forget. It's so long ago now. I was filming during the moment of the earthquake. Idiot that I was, I turned off the camera and ran outside. Okay, what we've got here, I mentioned a few minutes ago, we've got 2 albums here. 5 viewers at it during the time I was downstairs. That should disappear. Okay, we've got 2 albums here. I'm not sure the actual pronunciation, other than the meaning. Uchiwa, this is fan, and gacho, picture album. And then it says tezuri no maki. Uchiwa, those are the round fans, you know, the ones that have the round shape. These are not the folding type fans. And they're not the crescent, you know, that type of fan. These are the ones that have the roundish shape, sort of an eggish type shape. So Uchiwa Gasho, picture collection. And then it says Tessuri no Maki. Tessuri means hand printed book, like this is book 1, book 2, book 3. Maybe they would have a hand printed album, then an album that was machine printed, an album that was silk screen, whatever. They had different options for their different customers. And both of these say the same thing, Tessuri no Maki, but that's not true. There's a bunch of stuff in here that is printed by hand, carved on wood blocks and printed by hand, and a bunch that are not. This is an era. But again, there's no date on this. These are somewhere around the end of the Meiji era. It could be anywhere from 1890 to 1900 to 1910. There's no way to tell what date it is exactly. It's in an era where the huge transition is happening. Up to now, up to this time, printing had meant woodblock printing. There had been no other option. And now printing presses and lithography and all kinds of stuff is coming in from the West, and everything is totally mixed together. So this company that is printing these fans is always looking for a couple of things. They're looking for the cheap option. Time is money. They're trying to make their products as cheap as possible so they get more customers, sell as many as possible, of course. Let's have a look. Let's see what some of these are. Let's get this out of the way. I'll zoom in for a minute. Just let me get it set up first. This is Foxton, Moldian, whatever. You can see it's been molded and foxed. And this was cool because the guy on the auction showed this picture up front and you could see all this horrible mold. And I think that probably kept a lot of people out of the auction, which suits me just fine because I know what this stuff is. Okay, let's have a look. Let's stuff get stuck in the front here. Okay, what we've got here. Let's zoom in a bit. Oops, another earthquake, excuse me. Let's get the circle here. Okay, here's the size and scale. There's my hand. This is the size and scale. This would be they would be printed on square sheets of paper, pasted on fans, and then trimmed, of course, at the edge of the fan. And we've got all kinds of stuff coming up here. What you're going to see, it's a sort of it's a tribute to Japanese decorative inspiration and imagination. It's just stuff that's all over the map that doesn't even specifically make logical sense. What these are 5 seashells. And in Japan in the old days, they would get oyster shells like this, open them up in pairs, and paint stuff on the inside and keep them in pairs. There was a famous, you know, you've heard of the karuta, the Hyakunishu poems. They were also done like this. They would paint half of the poem on one shell, half of the poem on the other shell, and they would become collectible items. We're talking about for people with a ton of money, rich. And these guys have taken this concept of things painted inside a seashell, but no, it's not. It's little tiny little dolls just sitting inside each seashell. And each one has a little decorative pattern on the back. Some of them, I don't know if you can see it, there's embossing, karazuri embossing on this one. There's an insane, absolutely insane amount of work going into this thing. And this is a sheet of junk paper that will be printed on fans and then tossed away at the end of the summer season. If I was trying to make this print and put it in the shop, there's no way I could get this into the market for less than, I don't know, $60, $70, $80. Just, it would take so many blocks, so much carving, and so much printing. And this stuff just, poof, it was just nothing. I have no idea what the prices were when there's no price sheet associated with this album. But they would have cost pennies, literally, absolutely pennies each. More traditional, few fish in the sea. How many levels of green? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I can see 4 levels of green without getting my lens on this. So the green's printed at least 4 times. A couple of printings for the sea. The fish have 1, 2, 3 gradations on them. It just goes on and on and on. And it's page after page after page of this thing. This one's a bit of a mix now. Now we're getting, this has been carved on wood, but some of this printing now looks like mechanical printing. And this is the era where we're mixing stuff. There was an era of what we call here in Japan called Kikai Mokuhanga. Kikai meaning machines and Mokuhanga meaning wood block. And I think, without inspecting it under my microscope, this might be such a thing. It's carved on wood. You can see the scratch carving, but some of this printing may have been done bang, bang, click, click. There was a method for printing wood blocks with printing presses. The previous two you saw weren't. They were actually rubbed with a printing tool. This one looks like real woodblock printing. And this is a little bit mixed. When you've heard me do our printing here, I talk about this. Jed sound. I know, I'm kind of busy right now. Excuse me a second, let me get Jed off here. Quick text message to Jed. Yes, streaming, he's got it. Yep. You forgot, okay. This one, and I've told you before, we never print with white pigment. When you see white in our prints, it's the paper. And this is not the case here. That's the paper color, and these things are printed with a white pigment on the body of these things. So this is certainly not classical ukiyo-e woodblock printing. This is commercial printing. Do whatever it takes to get whatever it gets done. Look at this one, look at this one. Gradations, how many colors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 gradations, 10, whatever. I have to give up, you know. Sounds like a train is coming through my shop. That was my Skype incoming. Now here, this is totally different. That last one was completely hand carved and hand rubbed woodblock. This is totally printed. This is an early form of offset printing here in Japan. This is done on some kind of printing machine, printing press. There's no hand rubbing here. And I think the wood blocks, this is not wood blocks either. I'm not quite sure. You need to get under the microscope to tell. Let's just flip through a bit. This also is lithography, as is this. You can see the difference. The colors become a mechanical flat color. They lose a lot of their taste and tone. This is again early lithography. So it's mixed. I don't know the exact count. That's woodblock. Oh, look at this. And just the designs. They're just playing with design. You know, the guy can just sit there, draw a flower, draw a bird, and bang, it automatically just comes up as a beautiful design. Here's one. Oops, this one is perhaps slightly risque. I guess it's okay. What is she looking at? It's a tengu, of course, attracting the attention of a young lady. For what reason, we will leave it to your imagination. Dancers. This one's not woodblock. You can see the difference. They just try and jump back and forth. Here we are. This is soft tones, delicately printed on woodblock, and this one is the new mechanical printing, some kind of lithography coming in to replace it. And we're moving in. Now this, I said it was maybe about 1890, 1900. I don't think so, because looking at designs like this now, this is now early 20th century. This is getting closer to the 1920s, I think. So I was perhaps a bit off on my guess about when this album would be made. Although again, it's probably a mix. That early one, for example, this could have been made quite a number of years before the one we see here. This is just a catalog of stuff in their available catalog, and there could be quite a mix. This is woodblock, very thick, rough pigments. You know, it's hote, to show raking in the money. So this is some offset printing. Just design, playing with designs. This could be a design pattern book. That's a famous story, right? There's the willow and the frog jumping up. This is wood block. You can see the gradations. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blah, 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 blah. Didn't we have that one before? Have they repeated it? Oh, similar designs. It's the treasure ship, of course. So this would be one that was maybe used at, I'm going to say used at New Year, but this is a fan. You can see the shape. And here we go, same shape. This would be trimmed to fit the fan. And this is New Year imagery, you know. First sun, first Hinode Mount Fuji with treasure ships. New Year imagery, but for a fan that will be used in summer. I don't know. This is woodblock. Beautiful carving. It just goes on and on and on, page after page after page. And you know, people ask, what am I going to do with this stuff? What do we keep it for? Well, you know, when I see these things in the auction, sometimes you get stuff like this that's in really bad, beaten up condition, that's smashed up, it's all loose. Sometimes we would put single prints like this in our shop. We have what we call the cheap thrills corner, and single items like this that are broken up from ages gone by. But I won't be selling this. We will be keeping this for our own collection because it's a single unified album. It's a real good chance to study the different types of printing that were available back at the turn of the century. And I can understand how some of this stuff is made, but this will be a real good study resource as the years go by. That transition time. Eh? Just the ideas, you know. It's, what is this? It's one of the dolls has been blindfolded and they're playing a game of try to find. What's the game you call when you blindfold somebody at the party, you know? And just beautiful. Everything is just so nicely, beautifully done. These have got numbers on them, eh? They're all numbered. And when the person who the salesman was calling on, he would choose, yeah, give me number, and this is number 95. So yeah, the guy would say, okay, give me 100 copies of number 95 and something else like this. And also, you know, oh, look at this. This is the Peach Boy. Those of you who did a print party in our shop over the past few years, you know we did an image that talked about the Peach Boy story. Here's another thing. What they've done is they've taken the images from the story. This is Momotaro, Japan's most famous Peach Boy, Nihon Ichi, with his 3 friends, the monkey, the dog, and the pheasant. Momotaro. And any number of these things, you know, there's no copyright left on any of this stuff. Copyright in Japan expires 50 years after death, and this stuff is ancient. So we could use any of these things if we want for our own work. We could make small prints based on them. It's a fabulous resource. I don't know the story. Is there a story here that's going on? A rabbit in a rowboat chasing a bear. Is it a bear or is it a tanuki? Tanuki maybe. It's a rabbit and a tanuki. What's the reference? I don't know. This might be a reference to a story, I don't know. Something in the snow, it looks like a mother and 2 kids. Something generic, or is there a historical story reference? I don't know. I guess this particular album is about half and half woodblock and mechanical printing. That's not foxing. What it looks like foxing now. It's actually, there was a gold kind of a paint sprayed on this thing, or flecked on it. It was gold, and now it's become oxidized and dull. So there was a gold shine in the middle there. And what's this? A party trick? A guy with a shamisen, and she's got this balancing doll on top of her head. It'd be good fun. Entertainment back in the days before TV. Generic bamboo. Firefly. Another woodblock. It seems to be the same designer coming back and forth. I think it says Konobu. I don't recognize the artist's name, but it says Konobu.
It looks like a series there, perhaps it was related to children's party games. I'm not quite sure. These are festival dancers. Same artist, Konobu. Look at this on. This would be a nice print, isn't it? Koinobori. And this is mechanical printing, totally mechanical printing. No woodblock on this one at all. As is this. The last few in the album here are all mechanical. This too. It's the same girl we saw back before looking at the Tengu, but this is now totally mechanically printed. These last few. No woodblock work here at all. This is printed on, looks like fabric. So there we have it. Very nice. There's two of them. I'm not going to sit here and go through the whole thing. I actually have to get back to my work. That's one album. What is it? There's 95 or so in there. Then the second album actually has been broken up a bit. The strings have been pulled out. So we have the same thing. It's Uchiwa Gasho Gacho Tesuri no Maki. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing. There is another freaking few hundred of these things in here. This one is mostly mechanically printed. There are not so many woodblock versions in this one. This is mostly the modern version of lithography. There are maybe half a dozen woodblock prints in there. This is the one with the most woodblocks. Anyway, I mean, this is not something that's going to go in our shop. We won't be selling it, but it's going to go in the collection. And at some point, the collection, we're going to get this stuff scanned. We're going to get it online. We have these exhibitions running in our second floor here. The idea is to have that whenever you come to Mokuhankan, there's not just the shop, but up on the second floor in our gallery space, there will always, always, always be interesting stuff on show all the time. The plan is we're going to rotate things. We're going to set up an exhibition of 15 to 20 somehow related items, do an explanation of what they are, light them properly, make a PDF file for it, make an exhibition online, matching the exhibition in the shop. And then 4 times a year, rotate it every 3 months, every 3 months, every 3 months. And we've got enough stuff to keep doing that from now until long after I'm gone. So, okay, anyway, just a slight touch on what we had here in the shop today. I've now got to get busy. That paper is ready to hang, but it's time for me to shut this down. I don't have a facility to get the camera ready to the next room. Okay, today's Sunday. What will be happening? Tomorrow there will be another stream, and almost certainly I will be back down on the first floor at my carving bench, printing the next block. It'll be the 3rd block in next year's subscription print. I'll pop it up just now for a moment. This is the print I'm working on at the moment down on my carving bench. Those of you who were yesterday saw it yesterday, and I'll be back at it again tomorrow. Okay, that's it. Let's close off with a picture from this album here. Here we are. Let's use this one. Hote raking in money. Is that a suitable picture to close the stream off? I don't know. No idea. Okay. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Back again then. Raking in money. Yeah. Bye-bye for now.